Hi, my name is Debbi Schultz. I do a lot of research and communications for the NSTF. I am not going to say National Science and Technology Forum. Well, Khabo was just speaking about, you're probably a bit surprised to see my face up here. Apparently not my face. There's going to be a microphone more than my face. Really. Okay, you're probably surprised to see my face up here. I'm just doing an introductory landscape. The Department of Energy is coming. They're just running a little bit late. So please, I know that programs are super important and the running of the program, we will get through everything. We just have this is just an introduction to the Department of Energy. Okay, so we will still be following the program. I want to just talk a little bit more about the National Science and Technology Forum, just to position what we do here in two very clear messages. The NSTF as an organization is a representative umbrella organization for science, engineering and technology in South Africa. What that means is we are the voice. Everybody in the set landscape has a single voice that we can lobby and represent to government. We're not a new organization. We actually came about after the CODESA talks. We are also an independent collaborative platform. We are all about collaboration and about getting people together within a transdisciplinary nature. Okay? I wanted to also just focus on the fact, no, Bokabo, thank you. You said what I needed to say. I can start my presentation. Okay, so we'll be talking, okay, as you get older, by the way, you'll see me doing a little bit of this. So apologies. What I wanted to do with the landscape in terms of energy was to look at the National Development Plan. In terms of where we are politically, the landscape has the one consistent a political drive in terms of where we're going as a country is to rely on the NDP to see what it is that we're going to be doing. Be it when Zuma was president or post-Zuma. I consider him a critical pillar. Now, we have been unpacking the NDP specifically towards science, engineering, and technology audience. So if you go online on our website, every single chapter has been condensed literally into a page or two so that you know what's happening and you don't have to go through a very, very long brochure. Now, the NDP is seen as a guiding document for South Africa. Its aim is to eliminate poverty and reduce inequality by 2030. Those are its primary goals. Now, in terms of the history of where we're at the moment, in 2012, the committee got together in 2011. In 2012, the cabinet adopted the NDP as a long-term vision and plan for the country, and there were very specific actions which have obviously been updated. Of importance to us is the transition to a low-carbon economy. By the way, I speak super fast and I've just had 2 cups of coffee. So please let me know if I'm speaking too fast. In 2017, there was a need for an update. You'll see that it's similar, but instead of speaking about, they now speak about economy using clean, renewable energy. Now, in terms of implementation, and you will all obviously be au fait with this, in 2013, when the NDP came out, it was explained that there would be 3 cycles. We had our first, the NSTF, the Medium-Term Strategic Framework, which was our 2014 to 2019 planning cycle. We are moving into our second one, which is 2019 to 2024, and then our final one, 24 to 2029. One of the focuses that the government did was in July 2014, they realized things were not happening fast enough, and this included around lowering the carbon in terms of sustainable energy in South Africa. So they started a fast results delivery program called Operation Phagisa, and for those who don't speak Sesotho, it means hurry up. Huh? Yeah, okay, so in the NDP implementation, again, we have been lagging. We know that in 2017, there was a 2030 summit, which had the endorsement of the National Planning Commission. We do have a speaker from the National Planning Commission here today. This is really what came out of the focus of that conference. The government is still aligning. We need partnerships. It really is all about collaboration. That's also why the NSTF emphasizes and focuses on collaboration, not just public and private, but interdisciplinary collaboration as well. And how can we fast track so we can realize these goals? So what has happened in terms of progress? We know the ultimate aim. Let's eliminate poverty and let's reduce inequality by 2030. Are we closer to reaching this? There are newer Gini coefficient results, which the Gini coefficient is basically the measure of inequality between the rich and the poor, and it's done by the World Bank. I have the 2017 statistics there. We are still, in 2018, the most unequal country when it comes to the Gini coefficient, the measure of wealth inequality. You can see there, South Africa is the darkest. So let's just have a look at the National Development Plan, which is the guiding document, and what it says with regards to energy and sustainable energy. In Chapter 1, there's a focus on the key drivers of change. There is an area where it focuses, there's a lot of focus on environmental challenges and drivers. The NDP is very clear about the effects of climate change and the link between environmental threats and poverty. A low carbon future is positioned as the only realistic option. The NDP was, by the way, not put together by a single person, but an entire group was created to put this across academia, across industry. There was, it wasn't a single government group that put together what's going to happen in terms of the National Development Plan. So they said there's no other future but a low carbon future, but it does present potential for innovation around energy systems. We know that the political challenge is to develop policies and regulatory initiatives to make this happen. What did they speak about in terms of economic infrastructure when we're speaking specifically to the energy sector? The NDP sees by 2030 an integrated energy sector with adequate investment in infrastructure. It is very clear. Low carbon future, integrated energy. It needs to provide, in terms of the integrated energy sector, it's also very specific about what that means. It must provide an expanded quality energy services at competitive rates, particularly with subsidies for needy households. Having the security that economic activity, transport and welfare are not disrupted. So the idea of energy security, and that more than 90% of the population have access to electricity. The integrated energy sector should support economic growth through job creation and export. Still on Chapter 4, it says that coal will contribute proportionally less to primary energy needs, while gas and renewable energy resources will play a much larger role. So this is 2011. These were already being spoken about. It is not a new discussion or a new debate. It describes a diverse energy market with a lot of opportunities in terms of sustainable and innovative energy solutions. There is a continuous focus when it comes to the energy, South Africa as a whole and the NDP, that we need environmental sustainability. And that means balancing supply security, affordability, economic growth, and climate change mitigation. The message behind the NDP is we know what needs to be done, but we also know we need to look after our people. So there is always going to be a bit of a balance. They did mention nuclear energy, and they said there may exist solutions, but it needs a thorough investigation. So all the discussions we are having today are not new.